what exactly did you do in the army? How long did you spend in the army?
Jumped into the New Zealand Army, spent 10 years in the New Zealand Army, jumped into a specialist parachuting unit, and travelled the world.
Yeah.
Went down to the South Pole, all around the Pacific, in and out of Asia, in and out of the Middle East. I've been in some very dangerous places, and most of those were bars.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi everyone, this is episode number 10 of Property Jabs.
Are you sure it's 10? It's not number 9? It's not number 9?
That's
okay, number 10.
That's
we
a
made
special
it.
one.
Oh my God, okay, cool.
So we need to celebrate with a few personal questions.
This is when you said it's going to be different. It's like, okay, we'll see. Is it a quiz? I hope I know the answer. Can we make it as long as possible? It's pouring with rain in Auckland. I don't want to go outside. I've been working inside all day. Personal questions. What do you got?
It's just a little bit to get to know you and people to get to know you.
Are we? We're not going to start dating. The music,
no,
the lights.
You never know.
As long as the lights don't come down and dim, then I'm happy to answer these personal questions.
So Wayne, can you please tell us a little bit about your early life and your childhood?
Wow. Okay.
Where were you born and all the stuff?
Born in Auckland, born in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And adopted as a baby into Maguire. Had a different name, but I was adopted in as Wayne Maguire. And grew up in a lovely family, only child.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit selfish, I think. Didn't like sharing my toys. And as a kid, always wanted to be, when I grew up, wanted to be a soldier.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I did. Yeah, grew up and became a soldier. So good childhood. Running around playing like a soldier. Yeah.
Interesting. So if I'm looking, I wouldn't say that you look very Irish, right?
So my cousins do, the ones I grew up with. Red hair, freckles, and I thought I looked the same until I saw a colour photo early as a kid. I was like, oh wow, look at this little kid in summer. He looks different to these the other guys. Yeah,
so
that's why.
What's your heritage? What's your
Lebanese?
Lebanese.
Yep. So a mix. Everybody's a mix. Our family actually came out about 130 years ago. So if you roll back 1893, we're very good on our family tree on that side. 1893, there was a famine. There was trouble up in ever since trouble up in Lebanon in the Middle East, and these brave people left there and jumped on a boat and made it all the way to New Zealand. Yeah, amazing. Very grateful.
Amazing. And you mentioned soldier. So what motivated you to join the army? How long ago was that? How old were you?
Yeah, that's a good one. You know what? I just played. This has been the dumbest answer you ever heard.
Yeah.
I just played with soldiers.
Yes.
Always, all the time. Bought little soldiers, and when it was a game, and my cousins were over, I'd go, "Why don't we play war?" They would go, "Why don't we play cowboys and Indians?" No, let's play soldiers.
Yeah.
And we ran around and did that. I just love doing that. So I don't know where that came from.
So no one in the family. I mean, cousins, uncles.
My uncle Stan. He was in World War II, and he was a pretty cool cat. So he told me stuff.
Stories. You've heard
stories, and he got up into the Middle East and up into Crete around that area.
Yeah.
And my granddad and the family I was adopted into, he was, and I got the stories on this. He was in World War I, so got gas and got shot in the chest. So yeah, pretty wicked. So I don't think that's the sort of thing that makes you want to be in the army. But as a kid, I thought that'd be a great idea.
Yeah. And what exactly did you do in the army? How long did you spend in the army?
Jumped into the New Zealand Army. Spent 10 years in the New Zealand Army. Jumped into a specialist parachuting unit. And travelled the world.
Yeah.
Went down to the South Pole, all around the Pacific. In and out of Asia, in and out of the Middle East. I've been in some very dangerous places, and most of those were bars.
Not in the Middle East, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. But I absolutely loved it, and jumped out of planes and did all that sort of stuff. So it was great, and the guys. These guys, I've been out of the army a long time now. Unfortunately, I'm quite old. But they're still the best mates. And if they phoned up and asked for anything, you'd say, absolutely, have yourself.
Yeah. Did you feel that brotherhood and camaraderie?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. It never goes away.
Yeah.
Very strong. Family.
Yes. So how did you, because a lot of people who decide to retire from the army and they're just looking for another brotherhood or something to replace what you actually had in the army.
You'll never do it.
Never do it?
You'll never do it.
Yeah. But do you chase it? Do you try to find it somewhere else?
Yeah, it's interesting, I think. I think for me, you invested that time back into family.
Yeah.
When you're in the army, it's probably not right, but your mates, especially when you're overseas together, are your brothers.
Yeah.
And when you were home, you found it a little bit hard to fit back in.
Yeah.
And you're waiting for your next job overseas. But when you're out of it, I think the nuclear of the family is what you're going for. And maybe it's interesting. Maybe then I end up with, I've got quite I went from this little only child to now having quite an extended family around me with, children, grandchildren, and, mum lives with us, and then, sort of the stepdad came and lived with us for a while, so you're drawing people in. But I don't think you could ever replace that. The brothers in arms, it's pretty strong. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Can you share one or two memorable experiences in the army? Something that I was like, wow.
Okay, why don't I do this? Like this is just crazy. It's so long ago now, it doesn't even matter. And I won't talk about anything that's overseas, but I'll just talk about something in New Zealand. So I joined a parachuting unit. I was very lucky to get into it. I got into the parachuting unit basically by bribing one of the sergeants, Blue, thank you Blue, with smoked flounder. Arrived with smoked fish. Blue, can I please get in? There was only about 13, 14 guys in the unit at that stage, and I got in. And then I had to work very hard to stay in, and all that time I looked up to all of those guys. I'm like, geez, I'm so different to them, and they're so far ahead. But before I did the parachuting course, to be qualified to jump out of a plane, these guys had a jump on. And I was a new guy, and they said, "You're coming with us, you're jumping." I was like, "Oh, I haven't done the course." You mentioned that today. They'd go crazy. So, look, I don't care if we're in trouble for that. And they said, we'll just jump. And I thought it was just a test of, would I be scared? So, went into my very first jump out over the harbour, Hercules, straight out the back of the ramp, and static line jump somewhere literally off the beach of Takapuna. Probably pretty scared, hooked up, and just walked out the back of this plane and into the middle of nowhere. Had no idea what I was doing, but I just trusted these guys said go, and I went, here we go. Not very smart at that age, And
did you do anything in between army and real estate?
Yeah, I did. So when you come out of the army, everybody, I have a lot of people say, oh, you must come out with some really good skills, good management skills, good discipline, good leadership, and that sort of thing. I think other people have, but I didn't. I think the reality was in the army, you did what you were told.
Yeah.
You didn't need a technique. You did what you were told. There's no question about it.
You
didn't have to have a skill to do it. And if you were somewhere and somebody's pointing a gun at some direction towards you, or you're pointing it towards them or something, that influenced what they did. It wasn't that you negotiated and you were terribly skilled at it. So when we came out, and we came out with ambush, counter ambush, jumping out of planes, specialists and that sort of thing, there was no jobs in it. So most of us came out with a truck license, and we ended up in road transport, or we've got some of the very elite soldiers, guys that are just amazing soldiers, driving forklifts. So I sort of went into road transport and worked out that wasn't my gig, and then after that joined real estate.
Yeah. And how did it happen going to real estate? Well, was it like by accident? A lot of people started in the industry by accident.
Mate, you're going to get me in trouble here. The company I was in, the company I was in, I love the company. I love the people in the company. but the head office wasn't in Auckland. It was somewhere else. I'm not going to say where. It was somewhere else. And the next step would be I'd have to move there if I wanted an internal promotion to get into marketing and more operations. And like I love these guys, they were great. But it was like, oh, I'm an Aucklander, I just can't leave. So that's when I tried real estate. I thought, oh, I should have a go at this. I wonder if I can do it. I didn't know if I'd be able to do it. I thought I might fail. I was like, but let's have a go anyway. I think most real estate people are like that, eh? You know, bit scared, but have a go.
Yeah, especially with 100% commission.
Yes, yeah. Back yourself out.
Yeah, you need to be a little bit brave. Or stupid, or both.
Yeah, some sort of balance of both. Yeah, maybe it's a rotating drum or something, and stupid goes up and down, and the confidence goes up and down. Who knows? Yeah.
So I suppose in the beginning you didn't have offices, didn't run companies and so on. So what did you do? Just salesperson. Yep.
So arrived as a salesperson. Didn't really know the area well. Had a map book sitting on my passenger seat. So sometimes the buyer would follow me to a property, and I'm reading the map book as I'm driving. Like, God, if I go the wrong way, they'll know I don't know my way around. So I found 6 houses that I knew how to find from the office without getting lost. And there was 6 lock boxes in those days and 6 alarms I knew. So no matter what you asked for, I just showed you one of the 6. And that was it. I think I sold like 5 out of the 6. So there's a lot of people watching going, that's why Wayne never listened to me when I told him what I wanted. And I said, why didn't I see that house? There's only 6 I ever knew how to find. So that was it.
Yeah. So what was the progression after, you had some experience as a salesperson?
I was pretty lucky. It fell into place for me. Like I made my first sale in 11 days.
Wow.
And then I batted away 1 a week basically after that. So year 1 was pretty cool. Rookie of the year as I went through. Sold a lot of advertising, so I was very strong on selling advertising. Year 2, home situation changed. So there was a baby on the way. So we actually moved towns. And then I ended up as a sales manager. Legally, you can't be a branch manager. Sales manager at that stage. Didn't know where the branch manager was, but I was a sales manager, and down with a crew in Tauranga, and we had a ball. They were just fantastic. We had amazing results, and we had a lot of fun. I think that combination worked well.
Yeah.
Then became a group sales manager with the same group. Then came back to Auckland, jumped into my own real estate company in a partnership. That went like that. That was an expensive lesson. And then after that, decided to have a path of selling and building business. And then got to a point where you go, now you can't sell. Now it's just building business and being an auctioneer.
Yeah. Do you think there was something, especially in your military career, that helped you? With real estate?
Discipline and fortitude. Yeah. But not everybody gets it. Some guys, the army doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
And some can do it, and they just rely on everybody else to tell them what to do. Yeah. So the discipline aspect around that, I loved. I absolutely loved. Like I love the army. This sort of whether we're out in the bush or in the jungle or something, I go, man, I love this. Like, how good is this? So now it is that discipline. If I'm confident this is the right thing to do, I'll push forward and get it done. Sometimes I even push forward when it's the wrong thing. Yeah. So that's the downside. So I have to be very careful with that in my nature. Wow.
And do you have any hobbies or any interests outside of the professional life?
At what time would I have? You're a real estate agent. What time? When would you do that?
You make time, I know you.
Yeah, you do make time. Yes, I do. I have daughters and granddaughters, so 6 girls in a row. So I love them, and I enjoy what I'm now learning of them. So I'm learning off all of them, my oldest daughter and then my teenage daughters. I'm learning so much from those guys. It's humbling, it's embarrassing what I don't know and what they teach me. The 10-year-old and 8-year-old, they're teaching me little things each time they're with me on the weekends and that. And the 2-year-old, she blows me away with what she does. I like the kids in the middle. They always used to call me Popper.
Mhm.
You know, I like that Popper. Hey Popper, hey, what's going on, Popper? And then just recently they tested it, and I could see it was a bit of a test. Instead of saying "Hey Popper," you know, they went "Hey Pops." I was like, oh, okay, just testing the boundary to see how cheeky. Yeah. And then outside of that, it's keeping fit. So I'm determined on that. I reckon strong body, strong mind.
Yeah.
And I reckon little bit of exercise, little result. Certainly in my age, little exercise, little result. No result, wasting your time. Moderate exercise, moderate result. A lot of exercise, good result. So unfortunately, I got to that age where, mate, you must really work hard to stay fit, I think.
It's interesting, for the time that I've known you, you're getting fitter and fitter, older and older and fitter and
I
fitter.
don't think I'm getting older.
Yeah.
Don't put that on. Edit that out. Can you edit this sort of stuff? I don't know.
Because usually with people, it's the other way around,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The older you get, less fitter you are.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Like I pay attention. What I've learned to do, I'm not very good at it yet, but I'm learning is to shut up and listen to other people, and they've got the right answers and I haven't. That's been a challenge with my ego and with my drive and with my my push through on things. Now I meet some wonderful people and they go, talk to this person and he's going to give you a different program. I go, oh, okay, I've got. Then I try it and go, wow. You know, and you've seen us with our eating plans and how disciplined we are. And then I go, somebody goes, I don't think that works. Come and do this. And I go, oh, okay. And it's far better for me. So I reckon I'm refining it now. I reckon I'm fitter and faster than a lot of the guys in the boxing gym. This year I'm going to do something that's, I like an extreme event. We'll do a really extreme one that we haven't announced yet this year. And then I can see a theme that ties in with that, which will, this one will take me up into Asia. Next year, the same theme will take me to South America. And the year after, the same theme will take me to Africa. And I reckon I'll just be really, really fit as I go.
Wow, cool. When are you going to announce that? I mean,
maybe next month, February. Yeah.
Last question that will be more probably interested for the people who are considering joining the industry. If you have to give just one piece of advice, someone that is considering becoming an agent or joining the industry, what would that be? Just one.
Okay. The hardest time in real estate is when you start. It appears when we talk about selling houses, we don't. People buy houses. It's a matter as the agent not getting in the way, making sure it's a smooth process. Most agents put friction into the process or frustrate the vendor and the buyer coming together. Great agents smooth it out. They oil it out and it's just like seamless and it runs. But when you start in real estate, you're going to do your hardest work. So your workload at the beginning is huge, like a big jet taking off at Auckland Airport. Oh man, all the energy it uses to try and get up in the sky.
Yeah.
But when it's at 33,000, it's just cruising along.
Yeah.
So you're going to put in all that energy. And think about this. If you come into real estate, please think it's not a selling business, it's a prospecting business. Unless you have listings to sell, it's going to be very hard. And that's about prospecting. That's about getting out to people, showing them that you've got a great service, that you can look after them, and showing that to enough people that you get listings. So hard work at the beginning, gets a bit easier at the end, but this is so absorbing that you'll literally, you can work day and night, so you've got to cap yourself at a certain stage. I've done it for 20 years now. I don't know what I do next. I reckon I'll run this one out. It's so much fun,
Yeah.
And if we did this and we had guns, God, it'd be perfect, wouldn't it? There'd be the army and the real estate and and a parachute.
I like that combination. And just one last thing, it's actually something that comes to my mind. What advice would you give to the young Wayne Maguire, to the 18, 20-year-old Wayne Maguire with what you know now? Could be personal, professional.
Wow. The advice would be you're going to be wrong more times than you're right. So shut up and listen more and actually go with what people have told you. Don't force it to do it your own way. When the universe closes one door and you're all upset about it, and you try and open the door again, you're probably doing the wrong thing. Yeah. The other advice I'd give myself would be, as a young Wayne Maguire, is I don't want to lose my daughters and my granddaughters in that life I've had. But there was a point we were sitting in the bar in Devonport with some Navy guys, and one guy shouted us around. We were Army. It was quite unusual to get shouted by the Navy guys. Yeah, so this is something's wrong. And he said, I'm off to join the French Foreign Legion. So we laughed and we thought, oh, bloody idiot. But he went off and he never came back. And that's one of my regrets. I was like, man, I should have just finished my beer and gone. I should have joined the French Foreign Legion. How cool would that have been? You know, so young guy, I'd say, just go and do the adventures. You know, have a ball. You know, life is just amazing out there as you go. But you're going to have the wrong answers, not the right answers. Just listen to everybody else and shut up, Wayne.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's finish on that note.
Wonderful. So we're going to join the rain.
Yeah. Thank you, guys, and see you on the next one.
Thank you. Ciao.
Bye.